In this video, we will cover MATLAB library. So we are going to use a MATLAB library of a Python and going to plot a lot of different kind of a plots that's basically called as a data visualization. So data visualization is very important part. Now let me take a very simple example why the visualization is very important. Suppose you have five group, group number 1, group number 2, group number 3, group number 4 and group number 5. Now what will happen if you have this group 5 group with some data like this? Man age and the woman age. So you have data of a man age and woman age. So group number 1 is actually having 20 men's and 25 women's. Group number 2 is basically having 35 men's and 32 women's and so on. Now suppose this is a fine number of data, you can read it manually. But suppose if this data is more than 50, then it will be very inconvenient for you to read something from the data. If this data is suppose in the 500 or 5000 range, then it is almost impossible for anyone to read it properly and understand the data using this table kind of a stuff. Okay, so this data has to be visualized somewhere in some type of a chart and graphs. So MATLAB will going to help us to do this process very nicely. You can make a lot of charts in the MATLAB, and we are going to understand each chart in detail, how to make it. One more thing, in this you don't need to buy out any coding. The things are very simple. Okay, the simple thing is you just need to provide the data and choose your graph and chart properly. Like here I am choosing a stack bar chart. I can choose a normal bar chart, I can choose a horizontal bar chart, I can choose a normal bar chart with some other things, some parameters, scatteral chart. So many things you can do with your charts options. Okay, there's so many options are available with the Matplotlib. So what we are going to understand, we are going to understand one thing at a time. Okay, so you can able to use Matplotlib very effectively if you follow this process. Okay, suppose you want to make a stack bar chart, you can just take this coding, change this data to your data, and your chart is ready. Okay, you don't need to do more changes in this. So let me take you and make you understand what we are doing in this. First, we need to import Matplotlib. As I am working in a Google Colab, I don't need to install anything in a Matplotlib. But if you're working in some other IDE, then you need to install Matplotlib. Now, how to install the Matplotlib is a very simple command: pip install matplotlib. So when you write this in your Jupyter notebook, it will be automatically installed. If you're working in Python, ideally you need to type this in basically command prompt to get matplotlib to your ideally. But I'll recommend you to go for a Google Colab. The reason behind there is no installation needed, so no errors and everything will be very smooth. And we can focus on directly learning of a Matplotlib. So let's start making a chart for Matplotlib. So first you need to write down import Matplotlib. In Matplotlib, there are so many functions are there, but we need a function called as a pyplot. So in the pyplot, there are so many internal programs are written by the Matplotlib community, and we are going to use matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. Now, why PLT? You can write anything X, Y, Z, anything, any variable over here. Now, whenever you write PLT, you are going to call the Matplotlib pyplot. Okay. So now any data visualization need a data and a perfect selection of a graph, okay, and the things are ready. So let me read it out for you what I have written here. So I'm going to make a subplot, okay, I'm going to make a subplot. So plt.subplot, figure.axis. Now what are these axes? There are two kind of axes. There's a man and woman, okay, there are two datas. of one label. There are two data for one label. Okay, great. So the first label is the man's mean, and the label is man. And the second data is a woman mean, and we have the data for women's. Okay. Now on the Y label, I'm putting age, and then on the X label, I'm putting group number, and the title is a gender ratio by group. Okay, and we are going to plot this. So phd.show is basically going to show the things. Great. So when I run this, you're going to get men's means are not defined. Okay, okay, that's basically age. So we need to put it here is age. Okay, great, no problem. So we just put it here age. Now this will going to work for sure. Okay, okay. Here also we need to change as underscore age because the name is defined as main.age. Okay, you can see the beautiful graph which is coming up, and this is basically group one, gender ratio by group one, man and woman. Okay, great. So I basically put a wrong variable name over here. That's why it has shown error, but it is perfectly working fine. Great. So now let's go to the next one, and that is making a bar chart. So I have a data first. This is a data for basically the classes Python, R, AI, ML, and DS. There are some classes which are going on, and we have a class 1 student, class 2 student. Okay, okay. So now I'm going to make the arrangement such this. So we need actually NumPy library over here to calculate the length of the data. Okay. So what is the length of this is? This length of this is 5 basically. What is the length of this? 5. Okay, and the width we are going to take for a bar chart is 0.2. Great. So now what we are going to do first, we are going to make a bar chart in which we will take first class index. So class index, okay. After that, we are going to take a class 1 student, class 2 student, okay, plus width is 0.2 and label it class 1 student. In the second bar chart, we are going to take a class index plus width, that is 0.2. So it is going to basically shift. So this will be 5. Suppose, let's take an example. This will be, suppose length is 5. So the first will going to come at 5. And the second one will going to come at 5 plus 0.2. That is 5.2. Great. So now the next one will be class 2 student, the width and the student data. We are going to make xtrick, that is xtrick is basically the data on the x-axis. We are giving a title, x label, y label, and show. So when I run this, okay, you see the beautiful data which is coming up. So this is coming exactly on 5 and just 5.2. We have the next data. So this width we need to provide. Great. So bar chart is ready. You just need to change this data, put your own data, and your graph will be ready. Okay, change the label name, change the title, the X label, Y label, and the things are very easy for you. Similarly, I want to make a column chart. So bar chart and column chart are almost same, but this is vertical chart and column chart are the horizontal chart. Suppose you want to show some negative effect of the data. So here it is not possible, but in the column chart it is possible. So let's make a column chart. The only change in the total coding is only we have added H over here. Okay, if you see the previous code, here we don't have a H, and when you add a H over here, the things will be in term of a column chart. Great. So now we are going to the bar chart, a normal bar chart, single bar chart. So we have batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and batch 4. Great. So now I'm going to separate the key and the value. Now this is basically called as dictionary. Okay, and now in any dictionary we have two things. One is basically called as a value, and the second is one is called as a key. Sorry, second one, the first one is called as a key, and the second one is called value. Value value is 15, and the key is basically bash 2. So key value pair is basically called as a dictionary. So I'm going to separate the key and value. Okay, so when you take all the key in the names, so I'm going to take all the keys, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4, all the key in the name, and 10, 15, 5, and 20, all the values I'm going to take in the values, and I'm going to make a bar chart, name versus value. Okay, great. You can see batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and okay, this is the best visualization possible of a data, and you can able to compare which batch is doing better very easily. So year-wise GDP growth you can see, year-wise your finance you can see, okay, with the bar chart. So bar chart is basically used to compare the data very effectively. Okay, great. Now coming to the scatter plot. So now I'm going to change a very small thing. Like here I have written a bar chart. Now here I have written a scatter chart. So scatter chart also show the composition of something. So when I run this, you can see the dots are coming up. Okay, if there's so many data, you can just compare these dots with x and y, and you can even use this data for basically we can say regression operation if you have a lot of data available in the same points. So now I'm going to change. Okay, I'm going to change the scatter plot, just putting by some values. Okay, so change the value and see the effect. So I have put x equal to 500. The total code is same. I have added some features here. So when I run this, let's see what is happening first. Then we are going to change the value. You can see instead of these dots, if you want a special effect kind of a things, you can use club shoot. So when you write club shoot or when you write alpha, the special character will going to come. Okay, let's change this value and see what will happen. Okay, let's make it 100. Okay, so you can see the symbol width is basically changing. Great. So now it's the same example, but the small changes. Instead of the dot, I'm taking the alpha. So you can have a 2, 3 different kind of a symbol. Okay, you can change this to suppose 1000. Okay, 1000. It will be slightly bigger. If you want such kind of things, it is also possible with this. Great. So you need to make sure that it should cover in this data itself, in this chart itself. Okay. So better to go for 400, 300 is a actual proper range. Great. So now going to the next part, and that is the line chart. So I just changed in the previous code, instead of scatter chart, I have written only plot. So when you write a plot, it is going to give me the line chart. So it will going to join that points of the data, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. This basically show the continuous progress of something. So when you have a continuous data which you can present on the x-axis and y-axis, it's better to go for a line plot. Great. Now coming to the subplot. Here I'm going to make 3 plots which you have learned at the same time. Okay. The first plot is basically the bar plot. The second one is a scatterel, and the third one is basically the line chart. So I'm going to make 3 of them at the same time. I'm making a subplot which is 1, 2, 3. That means one will be the bars, the second will be the scatterel, and the third will be the plot. The size of the image is 15, 3, and I'm basically taking the key in the name and the value in the values. Okay, great. And the heading of the title is subplot. So when you make it a very beautiful 3 plot at the same time can come. Okay. So this looks very beautiful of the visualization purpose. Okay, and you can use this data for your logical analysis and other things. So the thing is, the things are very simple. You just need to choose your data properly, choose a plot, which plot you want, and the things are very simple for you. Okay, so like suppose somebody change this data, what will happen? See here, if I change this data, the width and the size of the figure will going to change. Okay, great. So now we are going to make a barcode using basically Python. So we have this option also available with us, and it is very interesting way to make a barcode. Okay, so barcode can be used for identification purpose. Like you have your ID card on which you might have some barcode. So for every person, a unique barcode can be generated. So suppose you want to use your Python for generating some kind of a barcode, then this code will going to help you. Okay. So what we have here, just let's try to understand this. We are going to take a help of a NumPy library. NumPy is a numerical library of a Python which can able to do a lot of mathematical operation on a normal data or a array data. Okay. So we are going to generate a random number which has to be greater than zero point 0.7. Okay, so you can decide any range of the value, and this value will be the barcode which we are generating has to be auto. So aspect will be auto, and the value will be binary. So when you put a CMap equal to binary, it is going to come on black and white format, not other color format. Okay, because barcode are normally generated with black and white itself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this different axis. Okay, so first is there are two options are available over here. So first, axis 1, axis 2, I basically comment it out. So first we are going to run this and see what is happening, and after that we are going to remove this comment and see what is happening over here. So I've taken 0 0.2, 0 0.2, 0 0.2 and 0 0.8, and the bar plot which we are going to make is basically -1 comma reshift to -1 comma 1. So when you run this, you are going to get the bar plot like this. Okay, this is a vertical bar chart. We are not flexible to see this kind of a vertical bar chart. Normally we see, normally we want to see the horizontal bar chart. So let's change this to horizontal bar chart. Okay, so I'm going to comment this out. Okay, and I'm just going to remove this comment, and this one also will be removed now. Okay, this will be commented now. I hope this works. Yes, you have the horizontal bar chart like this. Great. So this random data has been taken from this random library. Okay, so X we are taking as a random data. Great. So let's go to the next part, and that is basically called as a image processing. So in the same folder of this, I have provided one image. So let me just upload the image first. So here you got a image, and that is a logo of the company, and that is logo new.jpg. What I'm going to use, I'm going to use a method called as a patch in the Matplotlib. I'm going to read the image which I loaded over here. If you're working in Jupyter Notebook, your folder should be, your image should be in the same folder where you have kept your Matplotlib tutorial file. Okay, this file I'm going to provide you with this tutorial. So this will be the subplot. I'm going to read the image. The circle will be 800.800 and the radius will be 500. Okay, so let's see the patch of the image which look like this way. Okay, so I'm highlighting one thing from total image. Okay, let's see how the total image will look like. You can just double click over here and you can see the total image which is coming up over here. Great. So we cannot zoom it much. Okay, let me take it on this side. Okay, this is the total image which is coming up. Great. and we are basically focusing on one aspect. You have seen this kind of example in many of the social media, okay, where your face will be in the circle. It's going to come because they going to focus on your face itself, okay. So we can do this kind of a patching of the image using Matplotlib, a very beautiful feature we have. Now I'm going to generate a data which is from 0 to x and the size is 50 and the range is 1 comma 5. So this is going to generate a data. You can see this is going to generate a data in very random format because we want to generate a box plot. So there are 5 arrays are coming of 50 readings, okay, and these readings are normal reading, negative, positive readings, okay. And if you have such reading, it is very difficult to read over here, but very easy to read this data using box plot. Okay, so I'm going to make a box plot of this data which I have taken over here, all data, and the label will be x1, x2, x3, x4. There are 4 data are available. So when I run this, I'm going to get a data x is not labeled. Okay, let me check this out. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to change it. If it generates an error, we are going to change it to 50 to 20. Okay, or you can go for a 50. Sometimes the readings which are coming up over here may not fix your box plot. So now it's working well. You can make your box plot like this. So it is going to give you the mean of the data at the middle of the line. Okay, great. So now what we are going to do, we are going to change it to this box plot. Let's see. I hope this is also going to work. So this is a horizontal box plot which is going to come when you write a box plot in this label. Okay, RS, that is a horizontal box plot, comma 0. Okay. Now coming to the next plot called as a violin plot. Now in the violin plot, we are going to take a same data and we are going to generate the violin plot from this. Okay. Okay, and we are going to make a bar chart. Okay, bar chart and subplot at the same time. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to make a bar chart and subplot at the same time. You can see subplot, which we have already used previously also. Now coming to the next chart called as a histogram. Now we are going to take a random data which is generated from 0 to 100, and the keyword is called hist. All the data and the bins are 20. So you can change the value of bins and check what is happening to your data. So let's make the bin 200. Okay, so you can see it is not exactly coming with the logic level. So when you go for a 2, see the changes which is happening. Okay, very few things are coming up when you take a 2 bins. So when you want a detailed proper version of that, you just change the bin and you are going to get a very good returns in term of a histogram. Now coming to the pie plot. So here we have taken the same data and I'm going to make a pie plot of the value and the label. Now it has got a very important part, this part, percentage 0.1 F, percentage. So if you don't write this, it is not going to show you the percentage of the data. See here the percentage. If you remove this, what will happen? Your pie chart will be presented, but it is not going to give you the percentage of the data. That's why that part is very important. Percentage 0.1, percentage F, percentage F. Great. Now finally, I'm going to add some of the text in the image. Suppose you have already one good image and you want to add some of the text into that. It is possible to do that with Matplotlib. So some text like I'm writing this, I'm going to write this equation in the chart itself. So you can see, you can change the value and see where your equations are moving. So it is basically starting at 0.5 and here also 0.5. Okay, so I can make it to 0.1. Let's see what is happening. So 0.1 and 0.5. Okay, great. You can make it to 0.2. So it is going to go down now.